What's going on, guys? Nick here from the TCG Buds, which can only mean one thing. It's PSA return day!
$40,000! I'm rich!
Hey, that is right. Hard to believe it's already been 4 weeks since our original video, which you can watch right here. But the cards have come home and we're ready to show you what we have. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I once again peeked at the grader's notes.
There's no way, there's no way, there's no way. Say you swear to God. Say you swear to God. Put that on Allah. Say, put that on Allah.
I know. I get it. I'm not supposed to do it. However, in my defense, there was a reason to do it this time. We had to get some cards cracked from the fine folks at Lucky Vault, and they are located about an hour away from our house, so it would be quite the commute to do another 2-hour drive in order to get some cards cracked. Anyways, let's get by it. Again, if you want to boo me like you did last time in the comments, feel free to do so, or throw tomatoes again. But we're going to get right into it. So without any further ado, let's see how we did. Starting off, we have the Spiel from Surging Sparks. PSA 8 on the Spiel. Bad start for the Buds. It's okay, though. It happens. Again, is what it is. We're hoping for some holiday luck and magic here to save us after starting off with that PSA 8. Similar to last time, guys, we're going to have PSA not 10 pile on the left. Anything that's PSA 10 is going to go on the right. And if you're wondering what's going on right here on the bottom left-hand corner, again, similar to last time, I have pulled some cards that are some absolute heat to the side to save for last. Build up a little bit of some suspense. Anyways, back into it. So we have for our second card, see if we can change from the 8, the Poliwhirl from Pokemon 151. Card AJ pulled himself. Again, one of the incredible cards that we've been able to pull from 151. A beautiful card. PSA 10 on the Poliwhirl. Back on the 10 streak. Can we keep it up? Going on to our third card. Ooh, we have the Charmander from Paldean Fates. The baby set in between the set. AJ, again, unfortunately doesn't really like Paldean Fates set, the baby set. I love it. I think it's great. So we get PSA 9 on the Charmander. One of those cards where a 10 would have been really nice for us, but a 9, we're gonna have to live with it. It happens. Oh well. Moving on, we have another Squirtle from Stellar Crown. For those of you who watched our previous video, the Squirtle from Stellar Crown unfortunately came back as a 9 for both cards we had. This is our third card, our submission. This card actually came from my birthday. I opened it on my birthday and I added in a bunch of birthday cards that I pulled into the submission. So let's see if the birthday luck can continue and give us a 10 finally on this card. PSA 10 on the Squirtle from Stellar Crown. One of my favorites, if not my favorite from Stellar Crown. But don't worry, we have plenty more cards coming from Stellar Crown, including some monsters, if you get what I'm talking about, for you turtle fans out there. Speaking of Stellar Crown, we have the Lapras. Personally, again, one of my top 3 cards from the set. I know a lot of people don't like this card. I don't know why. I think it's great. I love the Terraform on Lapras. PSA 10 on the Lapras. Okay, the 10 piles surpassed the under 10 pile. We might have some hope here. Moving on to the next card. Okay, here we go. We have some Surging Sparks. So, to give some insight into this PSA submission, it contains all the cards that we pulled from Surging Sparks between AJ and myself, as well as my birthday cards. We actually don't really have any cards that were purchased outside of AJ and I ripping here, so shout out our ripping addiction for supplying this PSA submission. But let's see what we can get on the Kecleon. PSA 9 on the Kecleon. I think this card is great. The art on it is great. I think Surging Sparks has a lot of really good art that people are currently unable to collect because it's just impossible to get any of the product. But I'm hoping that there will be more available in the future so we can see more of these cards in some slabs. Alrighty. Now we have the Milotic EX, the ultra rare from Surging Sparks. PSA 9 on the Milotic. Again, is what it is. It's the risk you take when you have a PSA submission. It happens. But moving on, I see a Japanese card. Oh, that is right. We have the Terra Pikachu from Super Electric Breaker, a card that AJ actually pulled himself. What can we get on the Japanese card? PSA 10 on the Terraform Pikachu. Love to see that. I love the Terraform Pikachu. I think it's one of my favorite cards from the set from Surging Sparks. Obviously, all the Pikachus are worth an incredible amount of money. Super Electric Breaker is a set that got split into two between a Surging Sparks did between Super Electric Breaker and Paradise Dragona, but that Pikachu has been one of my favorites from Super Electric Breaker as well, Surging Sparks. Moving on, we have another Lapras EX from Stellar Crown. PSA 9 on the Lapras. Again, we already hit a 10, so I can't complain at all. Happens. Moving right along, though, we have... Oh, we have a big one here. The Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames. The #1 hit card. Card I actually pulled on my birthday from a ETB from Best Buy. Let's see. Can I get a 10? PSA 8 on the Obsidian Flames Charizard. Can't say I'm surprised at all. When I took it to Lucky Vault and had him look it over as well as my own scanning, I could tell the centering was pretty bad front and back, so an 8 doesn't surprise me. However, what I want to do as a tradition moving forward is start slabbing a lot of the cards that were my big hits for my birthday and keep it in the personal collection. So I'll always have that memory to remember of me hitting that Charizard. In the PC, speaking of PC, the #1 card from Stellar Crown, the Terrapagos EX. I currently have one in the personal collection. AJ and I submitted 2 of them to PSA. Can we get a 10 on this Terrapagos? PSA 9 on the Terrapagos. Is what it is. Happens. Tough to see, but we're going to move right along to the Execute from Surging Sparks. One of the IRs. Again, Surging Sparks IRs. I think the art is incredible. Let's see what we can get on this one. PSA 10 on the Execute. A card I actually pulled myself, so very rarely do I feel I ever say that we have a card going to PSA that I pulled. Normally so is AJ, but I do have some every now and again. Okay. Here we go. Oh boy. Already. Nearly back to back. The second Terrapagos from Stellar Crown, the #1 chase card. Can the Bud secure a 10? PSA 9 on the second Terrapagos. It's a heartbreaker. It really is. So the one I have in my PC is actually a raw card. When I was scanning it, when I had Lucky Vault look it over, it looked pretty clear it wasn't a 10. So it happens, and we're gonna have to live with that, unfortunately. Again, Stellar Crown, similar with the Squirtle in our previous submission, we had 2 Squirtles that both got a 9. I think this just means we need to submit another Terrapagos maybe, because the third one will be the lucky #3 to get the 10. Okay, here we go. The Pikachu from Crown Zenith, I believe. Let's see if we can get the Pikachu. PSA 9 on the Crown Zenith Pikachu. This card I feel is really hard to get a 10. That's I think the second or third one we submitted to PSA, and every one of them has gotten a 9. Not sure if it's just the card that's hard, if we're just not doing a good enough job scanning, but we'll get over it. Moving on. The Drampa. I don't even know. This is Paradox Rift. I don't even remember pulling this card. Drampa. Love the art on the Drampa. Drampa, again, a Pokemon not with many cards. This is my favorite Drampa for the ones that do exist. PSA 9 for the Drampa. We're not gonna hold anything against that. However, I do see a One Piece card in my vision here, my peripherals. We're gonna move on from the Drampa to our first One Piece card. That is right. We have a Sanji here. So Dom and I actually submitted a lot of our personal collection in with this PSA submission. So all these One Piece cards are going straight into the PCs. I'll tell you which card is Dom's and which one's mine. This is Dom Sanji. I think it comes from OPO6, Wings of the Captain. See if Dom can get a PSA 10. That is right. Dom got the PSA 10 on the Sanji. It's going to be great. Love to see One Piece cards in slabs. I know a lot of people are kind of opposed to collecting One Piece because the manufacturing's so good on them. They think that they're not going to retain any value or that they just don't go up enough to be worth it. But again, it's for the personal collection, so can't complain. Speaking of One Piece, we have another One Piece card. This is mine. Pulled this one on my birthday from OPO6. We have the Zoro. PSA 10 on the Zoro SEC Alt Art. Is it the SEC? SEC Zoro. I might have spoiled that we have an SEC Alt Art Zoro coming up, by the way. Speaking of another One Piece card, oh, look at that. We have the SEC Zoro Alt Art here now that we're going to be looking over. Can the 10 streak continue for the One Piece cards? PSA 10 this time on the SEC Alt Art Zoro. One of my favorites from OP06. I think One Piece cards have incredible art. This, of course, being the iconic scene of Zoro versus King. And now I'm going to be able to have that encapsulated in a PSA 10 slab. Perfect. We have more One Piece here. We have the Don Quixote Rosinante for Dom's personal collection. Can we keep up the One Piece 10 streak? PSA 10 on the Don Quixote Rosinante. Dom's be very happy with that. I see a red backing, which can mean one thing. It's an alt art leader. That is right. We have the Vinsmoke Raiju. Very meta card. I pulled this on my birthday from OP06. Can the streak continue for the Buds? PSA 10. Whoo! The stacks are exactly even right now between the non-10s and the 10s. One Piece is really saving us for this submission video. More One Piece cards. We have the Gear 5. Fun story about this one. So I pulled this card on my birthday. We bought some OP05. I opened up this box. Dom opened the card in front of me while he wasn't looking at it. So this is right when I got brand new into One Piece. I had no idea what a manga card and what wasn't. I just know what the manga Luffy looks like for OP05, which looks exactly like this, however, with some manga paneling in the background. So when Dom showed me the hit card, because we were ripping together, I ran around the entire house yelling I hit a manga because I thought I hit the Gear 5 Luffy. Now, come to find out, this is not the manga Gear 5 Luffy, which is okay. I still love this card. I think the art is iconic of Gear 5 Luffy, so gonna look great in the PC. What can I get? PSA 10 on the Gear 5 Luffy, going straight into the PC just like that. The PSA 10 pile has surpassed the 9, and now we're going to the Sanji from PRBO1. Only one of these in a case, so pretty hard to hit. If you're buying PRBO1, you only get one total in an entire case. I was one to get it. Unlucky for Dom. Can I get a 10 for the PC? PSA 10 on the Sanji Alt Art Leader. Whew, all right. One Piece is saving us this submission. They are saving us for this opening. Oh, okay. Another fun card. So this is the non-signature Oda, which you're probably wondering, what does that mean? So the creator of One Piece, Oda, he has a signature card that is in OP05, which looks exactly like this, however, has a signature on it. Again, first time I opened OP05, I hit this card, and I thought it was the Oda signature because it has the same exact art, but it's missing the signature, which is kind of a big deal. Regardless, I wanted to keep this card in the PC. What can we get? PSA 10 on the Luffy from OP05. Okay. We have more One Piece. Looks like we have one more One Piece card left. Can we go a clean, what is it, 10-0 with One Piece? Can we have every One Piece card come back as a 10? We have the Buggy from, I believe, OP06. Dom actually hit this card, and I was able to create a very beneficial deal to the both of us to get this one added to my PC. Love the art on this Buggy. PSA 10 for the Buggy from OP06. One Piece. If that is every One Piece card, I can confirm every card came back at 10. I think that speaks volumes about the manufacturing that Bandai strives to have for One Piece. And regardless of if that's going to depreciate the value of the card in whether or not formulating if a PSA 10 is worth it compared to the raw card, since the manufacturing's so good, similar to Japanese for Pokemon, I will never complain about a PSA 10 card in my collection. Speaking of collection, that is right. You're looking at it. You see that Pokemon Center stamp. This is the Magneton Pokemon Center ETB promo card. A gift from AJ. He gave it to me and as just saying a thank you, and told me, Nick, you can do whatever you want with this card. If you want to keep it, great. If you don't, do what you want to do with it. Get it graded. I think it's a 10. Let's see for AJ what this card gets. PSA 10 on the Magneton from Surging Sparks, the Pokemon Center promo card. Beautiful card. And just to ease everyone's mind, that's going straight to the PC. Never getting rid of that one. Always have a good memory with it. Now we have the Charmander promo from Obsidian Flames. You saw us hit the Squirtle PSA 10. Can the Charmander come out as a 10 as well? PSA 10 on the Obsidian Flames Charmander. Only thing we're missing is the Bulbasaur, which surprisingly is the only card we haven't hit from Stellar Crown. So maybe it's time to go buy one. Oh, speaking of cards we've hit, here it is. The Blastoise EX from 151. For anybody who's unsure where they might have seen this card, obviously because it's Blastoise EX. From the Bud's perspective, though, this is one of 3 cards we hit in our God Pack video, which you can see on our TikTok. This is one of the earliest videos we've ever created that AJ was able to record himself getting a God Pack. We told each other we're going to get it encapsulated forever, going to send it to PSA regardless of the grading. We didn't think any of them were a 10, but we're going to keep them because of what it means to us. Can we get a 10 on the Blastoise EX from the God Pack? PSA 9 on the Blastoise. Again, we knew going into it, though, that there was a very good chance that none of those cards were going to be a 10. It's okay. We want to keep it for the PC because of what it means. Speaking of the God Pack, we have the second card now, the War Turtle. Can we get 110? PSA 9 for the War Turtle. Again, from the God Pack, regardless of what the grades are, we're going to be very happy to have these cards forever in our collection. That brings us to the last one, the Squirtle. Can we get 110 out of the God Pack? PSA 9 on the Squirtle. All 3 of them came back at 9. You will not hear one single complaint. The fact we even got a God Pack is incredible. Speaking of more cards we've hit, Gulpin, a card I hit on my birthday. I believe it's from Stellar Crown. Love the art of it. The Gulpin eating the cake. PSA 9 on the Gulpin. The 9 pile is slowly but surely catching up. Got a little bit of stack left. Woo! A card that has gone up tremendously in value over the last couple of months since release. We have the Latios from Surging Sparks. Can we get a 10? PSA 10 on the Latios. Ending the 9 streak, hitting a 10 out of a really good card. Can we continue it? We have the Machoke from Pokemon 151. Again, just great art. Machoke helping around the house. You have several of them building, moving stuff. It's great. PSA 9 on the Machoke. It happens. It happens. More Pokemon 151. Alakazam EX, the ultra rare. PSA 9 on the Alakazam EX. 9 pile is slowly but surely catching up. Only one differentiates the 9 and the 10. 151 streak is going to go back, though. We have Snorlax, the promo card from the 151 ETB. PSA 10, breaking the 9 streak, and it's a good one to do it. The promo card, one of my favorite promo cards, right up there with the Charmander one from Obsidian Flames, but glad to see that one got a 10. We've returned to Surging Sparks. We have the Kecleon. The first one got a 9. Can we get a 10 with this Kecleon? PSA 10 with this one. The 10 pile just barely staying ahead of the 9. Can we have over a 50% return rate? Let's find out. The Skarmory from Surging Sparks, a card I pulled myself. I love this art. It's one of my favorite cards from Surging Sparks. This art is incredible. The metallic realism in the middle of the desert. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful card. Love to have this for a 10 in the PC. Can I add it? PSA 9 on the Skarmory. That one breaks my heart only because I really wanted to get that in 10 because of how good the art is. But moving on. Hydreigon EX from Surging Sparks, a card AJ pulled himself. PSA 9. Whoo! PSA is not liking our Surging Sparks. But wait. They might like some cards we have. Stay tuned. Regardless of that, when I was scanning the cards with Lucky Vault and AJ, I really thought a lot of them were, the manufacturer was Grand Surging Sparks, but clearly PSA is disagreeing. It's a very subjective thing, but again, they're the ones with the final say. So moving on. Pikachu EX, the Terraform. You saw us get the 10 in Japanese. Can we get the matching 10 in English? PSA 10 on the Terraform Pikachu from Surging Sparks. Beautiful card. It's a good one to get in a 10. Speaking of Terraform Pikachu, here we go. Now we have the gold Terraform Pikachu EX. The second most expensive Pikachu from the set, something that has gone up tremendously in value over the last couple of months. Can we get a golden Pikachu PSA 10? PSA 9 on the gold Pika. Regardless, still just so thankful we were even able to hit it. AJ was able to pull that card himself. It's not every day you're able to pull a golden Pika like that, especially if you've seen AJ's video with Surging Sparks or Surging Farts. Surging Sparks can be very hit or miss, so no complaints. But the Surging Sparks continues. The Ceruledge, a card that AJ is AJ's favorite from the set. He said this art is so cool on Ceruledge. Can we get a 10? PSA 10 on the Ceruledge, making up for that golden Pika coming back at 9. As we have one card left. The Drayton SIR, a card that I think is actually kind of cool, but Jasmine's Gaze and Lucia's Appeal just run circles around this one, so can we get a 10? PSA 10 on the Drayton SIR as we finish with the pile. Besides the stuff we have on the left here, looks like the 10s are ahead by just a little bit. It looks like it's about 2 up as we have more cards here to come. So time to show you the heat. All right, folks, the time has come to reveal the cards that we had sitting in the pile to the left. So let's get right into it. All right, here we go. As you can see, there are some cards that are not in a PSA slab, and the reason why is because the card just doesn't retain as much value as it did in its graded condition, according to PSA, than it does raw. So here we go. The first card, we have the Jasmine's Gaze from Surging Sparks. This is my favorite SIR. I think this is better than Lucia's Appeal. Obviously, the market disagrees, but we ended up getting an 8 on the Jasmine's Gaze. This is a card I personally pulled myself. Tough, but again, I'm just happy I was even able to pull in the first place. Just such good art inside the sandwich shop. Just beautiful card. But fortunately, we got an 8 back on that one. Next up, we have the Latios from Surging Sparks. That's right. You saw us pull 110 so far. We had one that came back as a 9. So we're gonna have to break. We're gonna have to have a tiebreaker. We're gonna have to have a tiebreaker. It's coming soon. This one came back as a 9. Again, AJ and I just got so lucky opening Surging Sparks with. We pulled 4 Latioses. That is ridiculous. 4 of them. But that one came back a 9. And what would Latios be without his sister? That is right. We also had the Latias EX we pulled. Came back as a 9. This is the one that I pulled myself. It came out of some booster boxes I bought for the personal opening. Came back as a 9. Still such a cool card with that art form. That shared art that goes with the Latios. Fortunately, that one didn't pan out for us. But here we go. We have 4 more cards to reveal. Let's find out what we got. Okay. We have the Latios from Surging Sparks that I may or may not have just alluded to. Can we get a PSA 10? This means we would have 2 Latioses PSA 10. That is right. PSA 10 on this Latios. But wait, we're not finished yet, folks. That is right. We have a Latias EX, which if you're seeing it in a slab, you can only imagine means one thing. PSA 10. We did it. We hit the Latias in a PSA 10. However, in case you haven't noticed it, these two are a little bit special in that they are sequential. We have a sequential set of Latios and Latias EX. Some of the best artwork I've seen in Pokemon in the modern era is this picture that these 2 cards make together. Such a cool design. And AJ and I were able to get a sequential version. So cool. It's incredible that we're even able to do so. I'm gonna leave them up here just so you can kind of see them in the background. But so cool that we were able to get a sequential set. We haven't decided what we want to do with them. If we want to sell them or keep them. They're just such beautiful cards. It's hard to let them go, but we'll have to figure that out. It's a conversation for another day. But our card opening continues. What do we have here? The Magikarp from Paldea Evolved, the #1 hit. This card is one I actually pulled myself when AJ and I were in Seattle, Washington. If you have seen some of our TikToks of us in the bars over there, we were just like, hey man, let's rip some packs. We went to a local card shop over there, bought some Paldea Evolved, and I hit this card. It's just a card that has just gone up astronomically in price this year. The art is so beautiful on it. I get a 10 on this card. For those of you who don't know, a PSA 10 on this card, I think it's going for like $1,200. It's no joke. PSA 9 on the Magikarp. Regardless of getting the 9 though, I think I'm gonna keep it for the personal collection. So that one I'm gonna get stored away, and we'll keep it for a rainy day. Still holds some value because it's the raw version of the card has been going up so high. So that brings us to this guy. Only one Lorcana card in this submission. A card that many probably aren't going to recognize at first glance unless you're an avid Lorcana fan and collector. This is the #1 card, the chase card, the one that everyone wants. When you look back on Lorcana, this is the D23 promo, Brave Little Tailor Mickey. A card that I was able to pick up again from my friend Brian. If you watched our previous video, I mentioned picking up some cards from Brian on a couple different occasions, but this is one that's really special, one that he had been holding on to for a while. He told me that he had fallen on some rough times. I paid him fair value for it, and I even told him, I said, Brian, if this card comes back as a PSA 10, I'll kick you some extra money because it's only the right thing to do. Can Brian streak last? Can he be 3-0 between both of these submissions? Can we get a PSA 10 of the #1 card from Lorcana? The Brave Little Tailor Mickey D23 promo. PSA 10. This card will be in my personal collection. It's not going anywhere. This is the #1 chase card in Lorcana, the #1 valued card that isn't signed. This card is very special to me. It's very special to shed a light on the relationship that I had meeting Brian through the collecting process. And I just will never let it go. If you see that it says #1, this is the first ever card printed. My understanding is how this worked is every year at D23, Disney releases promo cards of the cards that are being released in the upcoming year for Lorcana. So this came out before the first chapter did as the promo card. And it is just, it's the thing about Lorcana that's so interesting to me is that there's no foil in this. It's so simplistic, but yet so meaningful and valuable because it's the first ever card created. But regardless, that will be going to the personal collection without any questions. All right, folks. And with that, this concludes our second ever PSA return video. I know it's hard to believe. We already are 2 down in the series, but don't worry. We have plenty more to come. Regardless, whenever you guys are seeing this, I just want to say happy holidays for myself, AJ, and Dom. Thank you so much for the growth that we've experienced over the last couple of months. It's hard to believe we just started posting videos less than a couple months ago. We're already at 200 subscribers. We're hoping that 2025 is the year that launches the buds even further, and we are just so thankful for all of you in following us along on this journey. Once again, of course, thank you so much to Lucky Vault for giving us the middleman service on all of our cards that get submitted to PSA. Leo and Joe were the ones who helped me out for this one. So shout out Leo and Joe. We look forward to more submissions with you guys in the future. And again, happy holidays, buds. Have a great new year. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.